ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gents, to the ESL Pro League. We are into the final map of the day, and we thought we'd bring a little bit more to the desk. You know, we had to bring Semler out, the big guns. There was too much drama, too much whipping. We had to bring a bit of sensibility, clearly.
Oh, Pansy, you don't know me well enough. It's gonna be good.
All right, let's
Get
start
that belt
talking.
out.
He goes for the belt. No mercy.
What's up, everybody?
All right, Inferno coming up between these two. What are our initial thoughts? Because you got to cast the first map. Coming into this one, we've seen a little bit actually from FaZe. Obviously, the Fnatic result was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to translate here?
No.
No. Do you want to expand on that, or just a clean no? The belt's starting to just take it off.
All right. Are you all right?
It's kind of hard
Semler
with
is
like the
not
slippy
alright.
feet right now. You know, I'm just like trying to like maneuver this thing right now. And it's like it's working a little bit at least. But
It was nice having Semler here for a whole second.
what's up, everybody? No, okay. Let's take it seriously for a moment. Here.
For a second.
Get back around here this way.
There we go.
So, we saw a better level, obviously, out of them on Inferno. Clearly, they have quite a bit of work to do on Mirage. You could tell that the players were playing the positions that they wanted, it seemed at least. AZ was in his usual spot. Kiyoshima playing from CT, not too shabby. Fox on short with the AWP. I mean, there was like method to the madness there for FaZe. It just didn't feel like anybody was hitting shots. And unfortunately, you know, when only Rain is going ham for you, you're not really going to do too much against the system. And that's what Dignitas brought. They brought the system, everything like interlocked really nice and neat with them. You know, they clearly had these plans where that connector take that they kept going for, like FaZe just couldn't handle it. They couldn't figure out how to deal with that strat. So MSL is just like, obviously, as all good in-game leaders do, it's like, this works.
Keep doing it.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah. But can you apply that to a map like Inferno, Natu? Do you think that sort of systematic, very, I guess, choreographed pieces, can they work as well on Inferno here, do you feel, for Dignitas?
I mean, well, what we're going to see from FaZe, like we see yesterday, they will have heavy emphasis on smoking deep down on banana, try to take ground off of Dignitas, so they don't get to do their Molotov executes to be, and they'll have to use a lot of utility just to build ground on to be able to do executes. So it's all up to FaZe, really. That's how they approach it. If they approach it like they did yesterday, I think that's the one way that they can play with Dignitas. And when you look at Dignitas' scoreline or like record on Inferno, it's not that impressive. They just recently lost to Space Soldiers, for example. Something you know, it's a bit of a surprise you'd say. So I actually think FaZe has a much better chance on Inferno than they did on Mirage.
So prediction-wise, are you going to be saying this is... Actually, which way do you think this is going to go then? Because, as you said, there's a lot in the FaZe kind of corner here for once that actually says there should be theirs. In theory, if they turn up like they did yesterday, but again...
The universe.
It's
flipping back and forth, so it's very hard to say. So therefore, I'm going to say FaZe take it.
Oh, you're going on the FaZe approach. You're going Philanders on this,
I like how you said
Those,
that in like
the
a Dr.
eyebrows.
Evil voice. Like, if you'd have been like this, you know, FaZe, take it. You know, I would have totally bought into that, bro.
Because they actually showed a really good T-side yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, Fnatic had it in the back with like 7-8 rounds on the T-side, but then FaZe came out of nowhere and just showed us a lot of diversity.
Yeah, Semler, where are you going on this one?
Yeah, if FaZe can start on the CT side and be aggressive the way that we saw them go for, you know, yesterday, yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so we've got a little bit of hope in FaZe here. We're hoping that maybe translates into the game. We'll find out in a second, of course, with our casters, Anders and Mitch.
Thank you very much, guys. We thought moving Semler over the desk might give him a bit of a break, relax. We've actually just unleashed him, so sorry about that one, but he's definitely at least keeping it real over there for us. It's going to be Inferno here between these two. We saw, obviously, Fnatic fall to FaZe last night and gives them a bit of confidence, at least in them here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it should have been a wake-up call, shouldn't it, last map as well, just how badly they got beat on that one. Even if they try to make it back, that first half was dreadful for them. So, I don't know. I could see FaZe taking this, but at the same time, I think Dignitas are just a more solid team right now. So, I just have to stick with them for now. But it's not impossible. I think it'd be a close matchup.
Well, definitely looking to be a bit of a well-oiled machine at this stage. We do have a pause, though, to start us off.
Of course. That's perfect. I mean, they already done the knife. They're just waiting for us to get ready. But Natsu was bringing up this banana control thing, right? So I'm kind of interested to see if Dignitas are going to try and challenge that, or if FaZe are going to be allowed to take over that part of the map here. It's a beautiful picture here. Good job, Rush.
Yeah, we're getting the whole treatment here from our man Rush and his controller skills. This was obviously the map we talked about before as well. The dig drop to Envious at Malmo as well. Probably wasn't, really funny because they wrecked the group stage and everyone was like, oh, okay, Dignitas are really looking to be the real deal here. Then almost they maybe so used to being the underdogs that when it came to push came to shove, I guess, in that game, they kind of fell over a bit. But I feel like it's a different context and different environment, but it's just an interesting thing to pull up and think about with this team, especially with some of the more erratic behaviors they displayed in the last map as well. It's like the guys were saying, in the universe be flipping. A bit hard to call.
I actually do think, this is just a theory, I have no way of confirming it, but I do think in general Danish teams in any sport or any esport as it were, will always have this sort of this feature of just being the underdog is always preferable, and whenever people expect you to do really well, then things go really weird. So I don't know why that is. I can't explain it sort of beyond that, but I've seen it happen in a lot of other Danish sports that once success happens, everything just gets weird.
Yeah, and that's why we see you very much trying to keep it on the level in terms of get behind the Danes. But in terms of that, though, we're going to be over to the pistol here. It's going to be FaZe won the knife round and opted to stay on that CT side here. And we'll just be MSL teasing Banana at this stage. He's already seen quite a few. And the confidence in this guy, we saw it in the last game, sometimes working against him. More than happy to stay here as well, but he's going to be pushed off.
Just a bit too much. I don't think he was expecting that. Now the call really should be coming in, and it does. They're really quick. They know 3 people are there, and that's a lot of information. So just push into A and get the bomb down. And smart play from Dignitas right here. Might not have actually been worth it for FaZe to do all of that. Rain will pick up a kill on Kirby here. It's still a 3 versus 4. Sorry, Fox running in, but not quite checking the corner. Ends up trying Rain to follow. Jacob is down. Tensky getting 3 out of those kills. And it will be Dignitas to pick up the first round. It's well worth it to sacrifice 1 player at Banana to know that there are 3 people there.
Yeah, and even with Dignitas making that move, so the retake completely fall on its face from FaZe there as well. And, yeah, I don't know. Obviously definitely caught. Yeah, corners maybe not being checked, perhaps just a little bit nervous or just pushing themselves a bit too much. But anyway, that's going to be that one to Dignitas. So they come in with 2 AKs, a P90, a UMP, and of course, another SMG there for MSL, who will be sitting back at A here for the most part. Smoke just go down, but AZ will prize it.
Yeah, probably worth it. See if he could just dink someone through the smoke. Isn't worth it, I think, for Config on the other side to do too much of that. Why not just keep everyone alive and stay healthy at this point in time? Good smoke going to be coming up just to put a little bit of pressure on the FaZe team, but I hope eventually Dignitas will, maybe if they want to, they can use MSL as sort of a diversion. He's got the MP7, not a big loss if he dies with it, and they kind of are doing that here, so that's alright. But either like this or going into the B-bomb site.
Alright, well now that Rain is going to be rotating through the smoke. Actually does clear, so maybe not such fortuitous timing there as Jacob and Fox are going to be able to lock it on down. Just 13 points of health for the man, but he's managed to hold back the tides for the moment. But Kirby will, again, be bringing in that second wave, and he catches Jacob out of position. But very, very quickly, Rain and AZ were on that site there as well.
The corner that Rain was in, or so I don't know, just not, sort of a lack of grenades probably costing him a lot that round. It's a bit silly.
I don't know, it seemed a bit weird, especially with the Arsenal they were able to bring into it. That Arsenal, in fact, which mostly has gone over towards FaZe now as well. And we more than happy to caress those guns for the time.
Sort of a lack of grenades probably costing him a lot that round. It's a bit silly.
I don't know, it seemed a bit weird, especially with the Arsenal they were able to bring into it. That Arsenal, in fact, which mostly has gone over towards FaZe now as well. And we more than happy to caress those guns for the time being. Tensky will be just testing in sort of apartments. And that's Fox finding MSL at a fairly early stage here. Things a little bit harder, of course. There's a little bit of investment here for Dignitas, of course. A couple of nades for Kirby, but Tensky and Rubino want to test Boiler, but the eyes are on.
Oh, and AZ getting caught just a little bit. Probably hoping that he could cover himself behind the pillar there, but not quite going to happen. And FaZe just need to get out of this round without really losing anybody. Just make sure that they all stay alive. Kiyoshima down in the pit. AZ helping out a little bit, and the bombs dropped as well. Pistols out, and it will be a flawless round, in fact. AZ picking up the triple kill, and FaZe going to be at 2-1 here. So, I mean, obviously a much better start than they were in 2-1 on Mirage, which started pretty horribly for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see here if Kiyoshima or how, for that matter, he does settle here. You know, his last game on Inferno, on Mirage, playing up fairly close, aren't they? And just being in the nastiest spot, I guess you could say. But you see him playing pit there as well, was able to take a backseat to it and then finally get involved. So it's an 8 down mid first for FaZe. That's going to leave a mark in the morning. Config down to 3 as well. And again, it's just going to be capitalization off that damage in a very, very quick round.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? Because now that puts a lot of pressure on Dignitas. They previously had to worry about, you know, what might be going on in the power plants, maybe in middle. Now they have to worry about this potential aggression. We've seen so many teams do it. I think it's a nice way of getting control over them, the game early on, and showing that you're the one setting the pace. And teams already tend to be quite slow on the terrorist side of Inferno. If you start to be aggressive on the CT side, then they're going to be even slower, and that could really work out in your favor.
Astralis did a lot to Dignitas last time they played on this particular map as well. A lot of no respect, straight down the mid, and it gave them a lot of rounds, but now AZ again going to continue this trend of aggression, this time into a more board-up team. It actually was from behind, I believe, with Rabino. Going to be able to pick him up, and it is a bit of a trade there around that alley. Smokes go up as well. That'll mollify any further conflict here as Dignitas still posturing towards A.
But this is all going to be good news for Dignitas. They want that trade early on. And FaZe going for a 2-2 setup, which I'm not always a big fan of when you're playing Inferno, if you're in this type of situation. I'd much rather they leave Jacob, or probably Fox, in the B-bomb side, and then have Jacob rotate back. Instead, they've gone for sort of a bit of a setup where Fox is going to be pop flashing out. But once they do, they need information. Otherwise, they're going to be essentially overrun here. And Config getting a kill. MSL will be going down. Great job from Kiyoshima. But you still got to wonder if it's enough. The rotation time is so long. If you run from top banana into the A-bomb site, it's 15 seconds. If you run through middle, if you run the other way through CT spawn, it's going to be 20 seconds. So still, they're going to be slow to get here. And
it's that 2 men on B thing as well maybe coming into play. There was no one even remotely rotating while Keo was fighting. It was eventually going to be overrun. Now Kirby back towards Graveyard. And that's never been when Pip, but he's quickly dispatched there as Fox is just going to press on forward with the bomb down. Kirby just has to hold. And Jacob doesn't make it any easier for FaZe. He gets the team killers. Confusion reigning supreme, and did get that round.
Oh no! What a way to end that round. That's definitely not great for FaZe.
It's very diplomatic.
Not great, yeah. Just trying to keep it low right now. We've been raining hate on Envy earlier on just because they've got the password. You know, they set us up for that one. It was too easy.
Wasn't a great start for them. Didn't end any better, unfortunately, now. As Fox hoping to erase the awkwardness of that last round quickly as he can, but he'll just be holding up on B, and again, just with the 2 players, and Fox constantly looking for something here. Dignitas have the utility to get themselves in, and conversely, FaZe have the utility to stall this one out, but they're going to get aggressive anyway, and great little pick from Fox will find Rabino, and he'll just leave Jacob behind as well, just in case he's needed close.
Yeah, and again, I mean, they could afford to keep the setup here. Fox is going to be in a position with the... Actually, you know, he's out of flashbang. It's a bit of a shame because what's so great about the setup they had earlier, if someone had come top banana, is that Jacob's going to be taking the first fight. Then he then goes to sort of duck in behind. The flashes are going to come in and he can peek out again, so it becomes really annoying. But right now, the setup is fine for FaZe. When they're a man up, they can afford to do this kind of split. They don't have to cheat anyone over towards the A-bomb side at all.
Yeah, now pressure a little bit more over towards Dignitas here, and MSL, having held the bomb over towards the A side now, is eventually going to come across. Now FaZe, I'm going to throw that smoke in. One from Dignitas caught ahead of that one, and it looked like it might happen, but that's a good flash in, and now Fox gets another one as well, and Jacob in the close spot. It's too easy for these two, and they just completely clean up. Dignitas getting absolutely nothing from that one. Had a couple of rifles even brought into that round, but unfortunately, they're ground to dust.
That's going to reset them so badly. This is almost like a role reversal of what we were seeing on Mirage just now. It's Dignitas winning the pistol and losing 3 rounds, then winning 1 and then losing again. Yeah. So their economy is just all over the place now. They have bought up, which is, I guess, their attempt to try and get a little bit of control of this game, and they're trying to see if they can push top banana right into Jacob, and this is the instant death. The flash follow-up, Rain gone as well. And now they just need 1 smoke, and they will have it. Try and see if they can zone AZ out of here. This is a beautiful round so far, and MSL just running and shooting, flashed and smoked off, and still gets the headshot.
This round is bizarre. Dignitas, again, going to go aggressive. This time it actually pays off. somehow. And it's just Fox and Kiyoshima now just going to be backing away. Of course, Fox maintaining the AWP and doesn't want to hand that one over. But Dignitas didn't have such nice guns at the start of this round, mind you. It was very much that Tech9 push that got them over the line and overwhelmed FaZe so easily.
I mean, that's not a round that you can necessarily repeat, which I guess the one sort of downside of it. If you keep rushing Banana like that, a lot of the time you're just going to get grenaded and have to run through a Molotov, right? But as a way of getting back in the game, it certainly is pretty good. Fox seems to be on point, and tragically for them, he wasn't at top Banana this time. It was a different setup.
Yeah, the one round, I think he went to try and peek mid, and at least Kyo is going to get some consolation kills here as well, just going to keep himself alive. So guns maintained and 3 taken away from Dignitas. So not a terrible way to finish that round, but it just didn't start well at all for FaZe. That's it. And like you said, there was no early peek with an AWP down Banana, or no presence even at that site. So sure, FaZe can save it, but imagine how much more use it could have had at top of Banana.
So the 8th round coming up. Let's see if they are going to keep up the speed. This would be an interesting round for it, because this time FaZe have the full stack towards the A-bomb side. They're sneaking down middle. There's a bit of a risk here for Fox. They're not going to commit too much to it. Backup was quite far away as well. That could have definitely backfired. Now Apartments control fully here for Dignitas. Jacob is getting some backup from Fox now, so they're going back to that same setup that's been working for a while now.
Yeah, Dignitas will be in a position here where they have a challenge out against Fox at some point if they want to come through, and he is diligently just watching that corner at this stage. Getting up the push, good flash, but it's not going to be enough. Fox will still catch, but it's traded in by MSL, and AZ just around the corner knows he has precious seconds now just to hold on, and in fact, Dignitas are actually pulling away, that they maybe even sniff out the extra man at A, and they're going to maybe pressure down Banana here. Rubino at the front, flash himself through, and Jacob caught with a molly in hand. It's going to be a bit risky. Gets the one. Fortunately, will have the trade.
Yeah, he needed more. I mean, he was very much alone here, and you either have to just get the kills or stay alive. Great spray from Rain. And Tensky almost looked like he wanted to take the fight in the middle of that spray. Kirby with a devastating headshot taking down AZ. They have plenty of time right now, FaZe, for the retake, and that smoke is so valuable to them at the moment. But Kirby's actually trying to sneak his way through. That's a bit dangerous. MSL is 1 bullet away from death. 6 HP in the corner, looking for the spray. He needs backup here, and Kirby walking through. He's going to go down. Rain turning around for that one, and it will be a defuse coming through. Kirby actually played that one pretty well, but Rain was just too quick.
Yeah, I mean, a player off in the corner. I don't think there was even any grenades available for FaZe to clear that out properly, so that was potentially a very dicey situation for them here, but they're going to get that one back hard fought, and this is very much interesting back and forth between these two teams. No one really getting any rounds put together, and you can see economically that causes an interesting little bit of a trend. It's probably going to be a bit of a quasi-force from Dignitas here to see what they can kind of create. A little bit of residual cash, though, for FaZe even after this one.
Yeah, they've got just a bit. AZ just going to be grenading out into the middle. MSL is the one with the smokes and the flashbangs. He's already used one of them. Second one going in right now, so maybe trying to pretend that it's the same round. And look at how many people are rotating on over towards Arch. We've got Rain and CT Spawn. If the rest actually go out now, but they're so slow, and I don't know why they would be. By now, obviously, they will realize it's not going to be a top Banana push, and AZ just lining them up nicely. A good little sequence of kills.
Yeah, it was a slightly different spot. We often see some players take just up on the little bit of concrete there, and no time really for Dignitas to respond to that. They had no choice, so that's not going to work out for them. You saw they spent just enough that last round. Decent economy management here that they can actually still buy into some more rifles and keep going, but and FaZe seem to be able to hold them at arm's length, at least for now. I mean, no one's going to be saying that they're chaining rounds together yet. Dignitas a little bit light on a lot of things. They've got plenty of smokes to work with here, and that's something, but again, Rain. It's always either Rain or Fox just making an early peek in mid, just seeing what you can get and then back away.
Yeah, and you were talking about Fox, and him picking up that kill on Rubino is going to make life so hard again for Dignitas. A little bit of a failed boost coming out, but finally it will be working. Kiyoshima, we've seen him in this position a number of times before. It's not that bad.
Can be a one and done sometimes. It depends. Usually you don't want to be trying to replicate that too often. However, I mean, only has to work for this one here is I don't know how much money Dig are going to have to cobble together after it. So Jacob again just going to peek out. Actually going down earlier than maybe we would have thought, but AZ's there to try and clean up a little bit as well. The second spray will ring true. Tensky and Kirby fall in quick succession.
And now things are starting to look really dominant for FaZe here, and the money for Dignitas is just not going to be there. Even the other rounds, they were doing good damage and they were getting the bomb plant down, so they would sort of continue to build up some money now. There's a lot of money on FaZe, and they don't get a bomb plant either, and they don't kill that many people either. This is now starting to sort of pretty heavily go in the favor of FaZe.
Yeah, we saw what their T side can look like as well, FaZe. Yes, it was against a different scenario, and the context was maybe different with Fnatic, but still they were pretty scary. And Fox consistently is hitting that first shot every single time, and it's always just leaving Dignitas a little bit further behind the 8 ball. And this PT50 and Deagle buy into this round might not be yielding too much for them there as well. Tensky just getting slaughtered by that grenade.
That's pretty brutal. With Jacob there to hold on as well, even if they tried to rush Fox down, probably wouldn't be successful here. FaZe don't particularly need to take any kind of a fight in the middle against Kirby. Just leave him be. Spray as as Jacob tries to sort of crab walk out of there. Gonna be Rubino and Kirby left.
Yeah, well, there it is. Rubino will eventually fall to Fox there as well. And Dignitas definitely not a team that's afraid to go aggressive or just to try and really get in your face. But I feel like FaZe have wised up a little bit to it, especially on this map. Mirage, I think they crumbled a lot under the aggression from Dignitas here as well, but it's a different situation for them right now, and whatever reason, whether it's different map or different mindset for FaZe, I mean, Kiroshima's got kills here, which is a big difference, of course, and the money really starting to trickle in for FaZe quite comfortably here. And I don't know, do you go for something different? Do they try and play maybe less aggressive or a more measured approach required?
They should know a lot about how FaZe is setting up just by whether or not they're finding Fox at top banana, and this time they didn't, so I would say that should be an indication that now something else is up, right? Jacob alone over there is what this is the setup that we were seeing earlier. They do have a really strong presence in apartments here, but Kirby's still going to win the fight, and there's the follow-up. Fox going down. Config helping out a little bit, and Kirby somehow getting the fight against Hiroshima too. What a horrible way to start around here for FaZe.
Well, Config and Kirby are fairly low, and AZ still in a position to do some work now. Obviously, he's revealed himself, but Config is very, very low in that pit. It's just a wayward shot from AZ. That'll be enough to get the kill, but Config had himself the AWP. It's one shot, it's all he needed. And now Jacob, the bonus for him here is that the bomb is not yet planted. Unlikely that Dignitas have got any capacity to pull out of this site, so he'll be able to set his feet. He's got a Molotov here and a flash to work with, and of course that kit, but we'll still have 3 players to get through, albeit 2 of them being low, but Jacob fancies himself just to back away from this.
Yeah, they would have to make a big mistake to allow him to get back in the round. I mean, I don't think he realizes how low Kirby and Config are. I'm not sure it matters either.
Yeah.
Again, if they try to hunt him and sort of he could make it a 1v2, I think he'd probably go for it. But 1v3 is just not a good idea. It was an interesting round though, because Dignitas has essentially made the wrong call to go and fight in apartments. They still came out on top, and that can happen. I mean, Counter-Strike is not such a set game that it's all about whether or not you choose the wrong bomb site, right? That was just individual, performance coming out of Config and Kirby, and that won them the round.
Fox wasn't even fully flashed by that first flash grenade thrown in apartments, but it was enough to put him off or put him away from the shot. And I think it was Config or Kirby, whichever one, just kept spraying at that corner, just waiting for him to re-peek again as well. And you can tell they caught FaZe a little bit off guard there. Whether they knew or not that Fox was going to be in a weird spot like that, it didn't seem to matter. And yeah, I mean, and Jacob as well, saving that last round. He personally didn't have a lot of money, so reasonable for him not even to bother going for that one for multiple reasons.
It's obviously easier for us to see what's happening here on the FaZe side, but there are 2 setups at the B-bomb side. There's one where Fox is there, and then Jacob's always there. And then there's one where it's just Jacob. So as soon as they identify that Fox is up here, it should tell them something. I mean, even if you don't have the minimap like we do, it's obviously easier, but you still, when you've been playing this much, you should have a sort of a decent idea of what's going on. And Fox is going to get that kill. They will be taking out Rain as a follow-up, so that's pretty good for Dignitas here. And it looks like they're going to speed up behind it. Yeah,
Config was blazing a trailer nade there as well, but he's going to come back towards Banana and assist with his push now as Fox again. He'll be able to get one at least to get away. I think even a tag onto the second, but MSL is quick to get the trade on that one. Config Molotov straight on down as well. Going to get AZ a bit toasty, but it's not really going to stop him for the most part. As Jacob more than happy to continue pushing in on towards this side, and Kirby can't even hold against him either. It's Config not in the best spot for this one either, to be fair, up against 3. And the smoke in his way as well is going to make it that much more frustrating. However, can he going to pick onto this defuser? But the spray is not going to yield any results, and it will be the defuser phase, and they keep Jacob alive as well, despite what I thought he was being inches from death there.
I'm shocked that he didn't get the angle there, because that's actually very, very possible. That was some smart thinking from Kirby, or sorry, from Config, but I don't know why that didn't connect.
Yeah.
Because you're not covered by anything at that point. So big round from FaZe. I think that was actually Dignitas' round to get really get back in the game. Now there's a very strong chance we could finish 11-4 here, and FaZe would be very satisfied with that scoreline, I think.
No doubt about it. Especially if we get to see any of the proclivities on the T side that we saw last night. I'm generally looking forward to that, especially up against a team that, for all intents and purposes, appears to be more drilled here. But Dignitas haven't been able to read the signs in these last few rounds, or maybe exploit, the knowledge of what FaZe's setup looks like with Fox at B or at A, or maybe just haven't read that for the most part. As they actually challenged him there, and Fox misses the shot. So, as a Dignitas player on the other side of Banana, getting a new lease on life at least for this round.
Bit of a shame that no one really challenged Rain in the middle there, because if... Ooh, Fox, again, wow. You were saying this earlier, Mitch, that Fox has just been doing a really good job with that stuff, but if Rain had been the first to engage, then they would have probably not thought that was Rain, they would have thought it was Fox. And then they would have walked on to Banana and got killed. But it worked out anyway. Now they're trying to wrap around towards the A-bomb side, but the bomb's still very far back here. So are they all going to just run back? Or are they actually going to try and just take it back towards Archway here?
Fox or Jacob, either one taking their sweet time and getting towards this side. I guess not information going towards FaZe about the position of Dignitas here, but they're able to trade for it the most part. But Rain, that still leaves him in a 1v2 situation for the next few moments here. The flash just to stall, and he gets himself in the pit, potentially undetected. No, Rubino got a glimpse of him, but Rain, well, he only needs a glimpse to get that kill. 10-4 for FaZe here. And yeah, Dignitas definitely seem to be struggling. I don't really know where their heads are at, or what their mindset is indicating to them, aside from what we see on the minimap and through game. But another really very unsuccessful push. And Rubino as well, as a workhorse for Dignitas. Not often to see him struggling so much to make an impact.
No, he's definitely having a really rough time. I do agree that he's generally quite consistent, but another push coming in here to top Banana, and they've got the Molotov out. They've got Jacob there, the AK just chewing through the whole team, and this is going to be a disaster. The grenade follow-up, they walk right onto it. Jacob's still in that corner. He finally dies, but it's way too late.
Yeah, Dignitas try again that little pistol push on towards B. Last time it worked out famously, actually, but this time as well, having Jacob tucked around the corner, able to spray down. If you can see it coming, normally you can deal with it, and that was an awkward end to an awkward round, especially if you're a Dignitas fan. And 11-4, again, such a 180 from the last game we saw, where FaZe, for all intents and purposes, just seemed shaky and, well, struggling to hit their shots, to say the least.
Yeah, a bit weird. It seemed like, because the setup was, there are so many ways, obviously, to sort of vary your CT side setup, and I would actually say the key to being a good CT team on this map is to be able to sort of keep the terrorists guessing. But FaZe had two setups basically at the beginning of each round, right? So that should be possible for MSL to sort of say, well, how does this work out, and how can we exploit it? Once, like, knowing is half the battle, right? Not quite going to be good enough. Tensky, a bit of aggressive push into apartments. Does spot a lot of people. So that in itself is valuable. Now they need to put an end to it. And they're pushing up from B. Look at this. Roll rotation coming in. Rubino going to be taking out Jacob. It's a great start here for Dignitas. Yeah,
Rubino tripling his frags from the entire game, actually, in this round alone. Fox is going to fall, and MSL just pressing forward. From the very beginning, Dignitas had pressed 3 people straight down Banana as well, regardless of what they saw from FaZe. And, well, straight up mid. Easy enough there as well for the pistol, and that's the very bare minimum at this stage, Anders, that they want to be getting.
Yeah.
Very clean for them, though, as well. I mean, no one took any damage even. It doesn't get any cleaner than that.
Yeah, it's, that run into apartments is so smart because it's pretty low risk. I think the most that could happen, unless there is some sort of god AWP player on the other side, the worst that could happen is someone pre-throws a grenade there and you run into that. But most of the time, all that's going to happen is you make a quick jump as you get past the window and you can see if anyone's down there. It'll give you some good information. So even just to be able to tell your teammates on, say, Banana, I'm not seeing anyone second mid. Be aware, something could be up. Wow, this is going to be a fast round.
Yeah, it looks like FaZe already got very, very close up here as well, just trying to press out from apartments. But Kirby is going to slap it on down. Say no thank you. But Rain has already got him from library side now, but Kirby will continue just to spray down. But there's AZ again, those Tech 9s hitting home. There's been a rifle recovered now as well, and Kirby for the moment is on his own. He's going to get overwhelmed by AZ now as well. The reinforcements may not have been quick enough. MSL gets cut down, and Config is all on his own. Yeah, the bomb's not down yet, and there's opportunities for him here, but there's 2 rifles. He's dealing with both FaZe players are armored, and that bomb should be planted in a few moments, or are they just going to hold it? Yes, it's AZ and Pit with that one. So he's not going too far, and that's around the FaZe had no business winning, really, with the pistol rush on towards A, giving them the goods.
It's almost unreal. I'm quite sure that if Config had known that the bomb was in Pit, he would have played that very, very differently, right? But he obviously doesn't, so he ends up walking in. It's a good position for Rain, so yeah. FaZe stealing a round, just like they did in the first half.
And all the guns, like we said, pretty much go over to them. Don't have to be supplemented to too great a degree here. Obviously, Fox and Kyo get themselves some AKs, and Config and MSL already just fairly forward positions now down Banana, but not going to see a whole lot. Rain might give him something, and he got something in return. It's a bullet to the brain, and now Config and MSL again are going to continue to aggressively push down this one. Kyo will be there as more of a backstop than anything, but in the meantime, Dignitas can gain position a little bit over towards Apartments. Kyo's going to win that one though as well, and that one blew up in Dignitas' face.
So pretty good start here. And losing Rain obviously is one of the best players on the team. A little bit frustrating, but they should be able to throw that rifle away just to make sure that no one can pick it up in case anyone ever comes back here. And Dignitas, they don't really have the rounds to play this game with. Like, they needed to have a perfect start to the second half, and already now it's getting so close that FaZe should be able to grind out the rounds here.
Credit to FaZe as well. Respected Dignitas' ability to be at that B side in time. They actually slowed up. They just took their foot off the gas for a moment inside Banana and waited it out. Now Rubino's going to get a bit of information on the other side of that smoke, but no real damage done as he's going to have to come back through from Ruins. And in the meantime, FaZe can essentially set up on this side, and Rubino may go to schools, may even try and get a bit of a freaky angle up on this one as well. He's just going to bide his time. There's literally Jacob above him who just sees him there as well. Or did he? Either way, gets the finish, and now Tensky through from CT. It's a fully locked down site for FaZe, and that mess up on the anti-eco really hurting Dignitas now.
Yeah, Jacob getting so excited he wanted to go and hunt for the last frag. Maybe no real reason to, but again, hard for him to steal the AK here. Tensky, though, pretty cool position he's got here. Gonna catch a second player off guard, so oh wow, Tensky making this so expensive. I don't even think if he had a kid it would make a difference, but AZ gonna close out the round still. That was obviously just a pretty silly way for FaZe to lose for 3 rifles.
Yeah, especially at a point where their economy is by no means stabilized. They can at least still buy up into this round, but again, it's still shaky footing for them. And Dignitas, well, while they can, they're going to try and exploit that, I guess, to a greater degree. Thanks for that, the wasted flash out the map. But yeah, Tensky is going to be on that scout for this one. A CZs and a Desert Eagle here as well. What can Tensky do? Jacob already very low after that peak.
Yeah, nice little almost drive-by with the scout there. 13-5 being the scoreline here, and FaZe, I mean, for them to not be able to close out the last 3 rounds here again. We talked a little bit about this when we were watching on Mirage, and you have to be able to do this if you're a top team. And just you have such a big buffer that it should eventually be working. Kiyoshima picking up a good kill. He's been struggling a lot in these 2 matches as well, but this time he's taking it on himself to clear out top Banana with no real backup, so maybe a little bit scary here. The bomb is also behind him, so it's going to end up going down. If they kept pushing, they couldn't control the bomb, but they would at least have had some good info to go off of.
Variations of pace there by the Dignitas duo over at B. And Rubino, smoke clears at the perfect time now as well, and he gets another one as well. Jacob falls down, and it's just back and forth, especially on these anti-ecos, and Fox will find himself on his own and essentially surround that out as well. Kirby just gave him a bit of a love tap. It's going to make him think twice about pushing around the corner here. And yeah, like we said, FaZe's economy by no means solidified here. Fox would rather not give this gun up at this stage, I dare say, as it's going to be a bit of an average round for them after. Yeah, I mean, interesting how Dignitas worked on Banana there as well. You see that Kyo also was kind of kept in the dark about the pattern of aggression coming out from Dignitas. They'd come forward, they'd get Rain, I think it was, they come back, and, you know, Kyo didn't really want to leave, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to stay either, and he just caught in between and completely nullified, I guess, the presence of FaZe towards B.
I think it's just like a psychological thing. You just traded the first kill, but you're thinking, well, I have armor and a rifle, I could do better than trade, and then you keep fighting for no good reason. I mean, trading is fine at this point in time. Just throw away the rifle that's dropped on the floor, pick up the other one and run away. Now, they've gone for a pistol armor buy up here, and looks like they want to be real aggressive on top Banana again.
Sacks do a fair bit of work. It was config to go quite low there. FaZe sparing no expense in terms of grenades to try and get it done, but unfortunately they are out of those HEs for the moment. MSL seems comfortable enough to head back towards the top of Banana and just spray on through. He gets one already, Kiyoshima. Head getting knocked clean from his shoulders. In the meantime, the rest of Dignitas can take fire, put their feet up as Tensky and Kirby just chill at the side. And AZ, though, can overwhelm. Config gets traded out almost immediately here, so FaZe have presence. Rubino forced to rush over, but he's going to be kept out from this one. A bit of spray won't catch anyone, and FaZe, by the looks of things, should at least have a plant.
Yeah. Oh, only the fish got caught by that one.
Peter will not be happy.
No, it's very tragic, isn't it? They do have... Oh, they actually already used it, so no Molotov still in play. They have 2 smokes here, so for the defuse and also obviously for Banana, going to be pretty good to have those 2 smokes in play here. Dignitas need this retake. I mean, FaZe shouldn't have even got this close. The flashes they threw at top Banana weren't even all that good. They still just got the kills, which is a bit ridiculous. And Jacob going to go for the shot down there. Rubino going down. Kirby has to walk through the smoke. There's now smoke covering him, though, and Jacob looking for his second kill here. Trying to see if he could get it. He ends up being dropped, and now it's a 2-on-2. They don't have a kit currently, and there's just no time. Rain, there's the kill.
No.
Easy. And Kirby can't do a single thing. 14 rounds for FaZe.
Making those cheeky little peeks in afterplant situations when you're holding as a terrorist, sometimes you're either a hero or a zero if they work out.
Yeah.
You saw how the Dignitas player, I'm not sure who it was, actually got completely caught out by that push from Dark Corner, and that was all they needed. That just gave them the time, and again, back and forth, these teams just trying to break each other's economies, and the result is a very weird buy for Dignitas, and a somewhat more normal one here for FaZe with Keo on the UMP. Again, they're looking pretty good into this one. Kirby's the man with all the utility at the moment, and only one of 2 kits here, so these first few moments will be interesting as Kirby getting aggressive here in apartments with the AK.
Oh, and, well, this is a good idea, but he just gets rocked by AZ. And we did see the pre-grenade actually coming out this time. It just didn't do too much damage, but good follow-up here from Rubino, taking down Jacob and trying for the mid-air spray with the FAMAS. A bit adventurous. The bomb is getting in here, and they got to be real careful. If Rubino gets the shot, and he almost does. Fox nearly goes down. MSL will die, but that was the bomb on Fox there. It
was quite clever from Rubino there as well, just trying to change his position using the fringes of the smoke at least to get the first peek. And now Config coming back in towards apartments again. It's trade. FaZe have at least been able to do that, and that gives them the man advantage at this stage. But Rubino, time and time again, Dignitas players are stepping into apartments and just coming up behind people. Now AZ, he's in the 1v1. Rubino gets the corner. He had the AK picked up as well. None of these rounds are going the way they should at all. None of the last 3 or 4 have gone the way that anyone would realistically and reasonably predict.
No, I mean, FaZe are also, they're not slowing down at all, you know. Once they're in a 3-on-3 and they have the bomb still in control, what is the rush with just, you know, fighting all over the place? Just try and chill out for a moment and wait, because Dignitas were obviously being very aggressive, so that's fine if you're on the T side. Just let them come, essentially.
Wow. I'm not sure if they can hear you, Anders. FaZe is going to be coming forward again. Rain looks for the 1 dig, and he gets it. Rubino, no idea what hit him there. And this has already drawn Kirby forward as well. A little bit of nervousness, perhaps, is that's definitely one way to open up proceedings here in a round like this. Is already going to have MSL rotating across here. For whatever reason, Dignitas seem convinced that FaZe are deadly intent on hitting this A side. And I think it was Jacob there as well. Might be caught. Is Kirby going to push it towards Boiler and get that one now backing away, but might be caught there. Again, trading in, but it's FaZe with the player advantage. MSL gets the spray down, the bomb is loose now. Intensky with a decent vantage, but he's been spotted out already. And AZ smashes him into next Tuesday. And now MSL, oh dear, he's caught out by the smoke now. At least he has the bomb though. That's something to be sitting on with Config applying pressure from mid. That's definitely with a chance here, but time and time again, this aggression blowing up in whichever team's face is trying to use them. And Keo gets the finish with the Deagle. Stunning round from him. 2 kills from 2 Deagle shots. And that's match point for FaZe. And I don't even know what I'm watching.
They just need to not buy rifles, it seems. Every time they force, they just make it work. There was a really unfortunate moment there where I think Kirby is holding Archway corner, and whoever's running back towards him, I can't remember if it was Tensky or someone else, but they're running back towards the Archway to get away from Boiler.
Yeah.
And he actually he runs away back in the exact same line that Kirby wants to shoot at, so they can't even help each other out. So that was just really weird. I think if he had been hogging the wall instead, then they would have been fine. Kirby would have taken that shot and would have all worked out. So that was a bit silly. But 15-7 here in Kiyoshima, who seems to have come alive in the last round. Getting a good shot in. I may have cursed in there. Walks right in the config.
Yeah, I mean, at least though as well, it's definitely been an improvement for him over that previous game as well. And Who knows why, but this is FaZe again. The T side has been looking really good, and in fact, they've been making a lot happen with not a lot. But this time, they have everything they need, and they're going to make it count. It's a smoke steal at B, which has actually given Rubino time to get there. FaZe haven't really shown a desire to push past it yet, with AZ especially still lurking over towards the middle of the map. It's reasonable to think they'll eventually come forward, and this is interesting because Tensky and Kirby have tried to cheat over to A, thinking that FaZe is slowing up the game means that they're rotating through. It is the case, but Tensky then starts to second-guess himself and goes back. And he doesn't know where to put himself as FaZe still just AZ testing at A.
Oh, he flashes himself and gets killed for it. That was not exactly great. Now the other two members, or the other three members here of FaZe, walking right into the rest of Dignitas. Rubino in the corner. Are they going to fully check it? They will. And that's going to seal the deal. There's no coming back from this from Kirby.
Yeah, no, stunning stuff from FaZe there as well. A little bit of a mess up there, of course. I think it was for AZ earlier on, but Kirby, it's all on him, really, at this stage. And the bomb is ticking on away. He just backing away for the moment. Just going to have to go for it. It's got Jacob on the right, Fox on the left. Rain up in front, and unfortunately it's Jacob to get the finish on him. No chance for Dignitas to bring it back there. And these two teams split at 1-1 here. FaZe living up, I guess, to expectations, at least when it came to Mirage, Inferno.
Yeah, very, very good showing from them. They also sort of closed it out, you know, a little bit early there. But I mean, it was weird because the rounds that they should have been able to close it out with all the rifles round, they ended up losing. Then they forced and won the rounds anyway. So just very strange end, I think, to that game. And I think more signs that everyone is just feeling a bit fatigued at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we talked about over the last couple of days of Pro League, about the burnout, especially with all the big events happening as well. And obviously, Mr. Twist in the seat over there as well, probably feeling it like the rest of us. But, I mean, there you have it. It's going to be 1-1 between these two teams. And something about FaZe as well is they sit below SK in standings. SK have like a -67 round difference. FaZe had a -7 before going into tonight. So,
really?
Yeah, it's been very, very close for FaZe as well. So it's good to see them split that one back. I think they go to 6 and 12 at the end of it. So I don't think their ranking really changes too much in the grand scheme of things. But that's going to be all from us here at the desk. It's been a pleasure to have you guys. We're going to pass it over now to the other desk to break that one down.
Thank you so much. And yeah, well, both you predicted it spot on. FaZe turned the hell back up after being pretty much absent excuse me, on the first map. And it went pretty much how you expected. Their CT side was robust. Fox looked absolutely insane on it. I don't know. Dig just didn't seem to be able to break through.
Again, like a lost puppy. This time was Dignitas, not FaZe. They really didn't even get to the bomb site except for that bomb site B, and their FaZe did some really good retakes. But no, it was FaZe's aggressiveness. They held up middle a lot. They held up banana a lot. So what that made, is as the round timer kept going lower and lower, Dignitas sort of just started like getting a little bit anxious of what do we need to do, and then the executes were kind of scrappy all the way through. Obviously, rounds going back and forth too, where you saw anti-ecos being lost. There was a round where Kyoshima was alone in banana against 2CZs. I was thinking, like, what are you doing? You need to back up. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. Where's the body system from this? So a lot of still very, very scrappy Counter-Strike, but in the end, FaZe was way better than Dignitas.
Yeah, similar thought, I assume.
Sums it up nicely.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's much more to say about it, if I'm honest. I think it was just two very one-sided maps almost in that aspect. I think it got a little bit closer on the first map due to some maybe over-aggression from MSL, as you pointed out, Natu. But overall, you know, FaZe is starting to show some real strength on very specific maps. If they apply this throughout or to a better map pool, do you think we actually have a pretty decent team here coming through with now Kyo joining into them?
Of course. There's always been the individual talent on. I mean, that's just the issue right there, is whether or not they're going to work.
Work ethic, right? It's how much they put it in, I guess. And
it's tough to say, though. I mean, because fatigue definitely plays an issue. It's this constant mental battle, because if you're traveling every weekend for events, and then you have to come back, and then you have to play online games, and then you have to also find time to put prac in to come up with new strategies, and so it's just nonstop. So eventually, you know, we're 4 months into the year right now. These guys have been nonstop hitting LAN. Okay, come back, online. Okay, well, when do we prac? Shit, just use the fucking just use the online stuff, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's still an official match, so you're still feeling the pressure. You're not going into it thinking, okay, this is a prac, like this is what we're going to work on this time around. It's really frustrating. Well, it's just really frustrating. There's too much going on right now, and so I think that the teams are going to suffer because of it. And this could be, you know, an example of teams, you know, having a little bit of trouble getting their heads into it, perhaps, or clearly needing to put more work onto it. Because FaZe, everybody's going to pick Mirage against FaZe if that's the level that they're going to bring into the match, right?
Well, let's have a little bit of a look back at all the other games that happened today. Of course, this was the final one. We did start off with NIP against Envy, and actually they showed the scorelines aren't so beautiful for Envy, but it was more how they approached the game similar that caught your attention.
Oh yeah, no, clearly Envy are going into it with a different mindset. They don't have any lands to think about for the next month or so. They literally came back and said, right, this is when we actually start to figure out how we want to play this game, and you could see that in both of those first maps.
Yeah, especially Cash. They had a structure. Previously we saw them play Cash. They were very heavy on the A strat, so I was thinking maybe they were just practicing scrimming those. Today we saw a lot more mid presence as well, but it was a bit their timing, so I think they got a little bit caught off guard by a few boosts and stuff like that, where I think their tempo was still not there, but overall I think it was still improvement from Envy.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yep, so a lot to be seen from Envy, hopefully on the right track. Now NIP though still looking solid, still doing more than enough. Hopefully that keeps up as well.
And we have to say the same thing about Train as well. Obviously, if you guys are looking at the scoreline, you think Nip just stomped the tar out of Envy. I mean, yes, it was a one-sided match, but again, it was Envy trying to figure out how they wanted to hold. They were struggling a little bit on the A site that time around, trying to figure out like how are we going to hold this. So once they figure out how to handle Ivy, I think that was like the point that really stood out for me. Once they figure out how to handle that and help NBK there, it can come together a lot nicer for Envy on that particular map. So clear, like tonight is actually, that saved it the night for me, because this Dignitas FaZe match was really just, you know, like, I'm going to hit you, okay, I'm going to hit you now, like on this map, right? It's just like, I don't know what the hell I was watching there, but when it was Envy Nip,
you can at least see things in process.
Well, Nip took the game seriously, which was sick, because they could have, you know, NIP are already qualified for the Lance. They could have played like idiots as well and just run around all over the place. No, they took the map seriously, and so Envy, they were like, okay, cool, if they're going to take it seriously, then we can too. And you actually had something to take away from those two maps. I enjoyed them.
And speaking about NIP taking things seriously, this is when things get a little interesting, and this is what we're going to talk about in the upcoming games. Now, basically on Tuesday, every team's going to play a game, in essence. There's a lot going on. Every single team is going to be playing, but there's two that really matter. Now, the one I think we're going to be watching that I think will be maybe more interesting for a very specific reason is Na'Vi facing off against Mousesports. The other game of real consequence would have been the G2 NIP game. However, the map pool. Now, this is curious enough. I think everyone's seeing it. Na'Vi might just have to play Cash here. I think there was an error that they maybe vetoed a little late, and by the end of it, it basically ended up there on Cash. Now that's what we currently have in the public scheduling, right? So this is the thing. Now Mouse actually aren't bad on Dust2, but Na'Vi are better. That's being very bland with that, but Cash.
Yeah, I mean Cash is a map where Mousesports is really capable on. Na'Vi virtually never plays it, and I mean we're literally talking about qualifying for the finals here. So that's a bit of a screw up from Na'Vi.
I'm having like flashbacks. What major again was it when Fnatic and Na'Vi played in the quarterfinals on Nuke? Was it Gamescom 2014?
Oh god, it would be something.
It was
like
Gamescom 2014, was it?
So
or either Cologne. It was a summer one.
So
it was a Cologne 2015 or Gamescom 2014. It has to be. No, it has to be Cologne. Whatever. I don't know what point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that Na'Vi have been in this situation before where they wind up on the one map out of 7 that they absolutely do not want to play, and it's a map that actually means a lot. They could actually not go to the LAN because of this mistake.
This is terrifying. And then you think how many of those losing to Flipside now comes into question, because they're tied on points with G2. So basically, looking at it this way, NIP actually have a say in who could go to the final here. They're facing off against G2, who are the other contender for that 4th spot. So for NIP, who do you want to face at the finals? Na'Vi or G2, huh? Again, this is going to be a very interesting day. There's a lot of questions about it coming up. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
That they could throw it?
I just don't think that's in NIP.
Wow.
You know, they're honorable guys. They'd never do that.
Now, you see, the players are wise. What they're not going to do is they're not going to write each other on Facebook or somewhere where it could be like screen capped, right? What I see happening here is like Get Right, and I'll choose somebody from Na'Vi, are going to meet in an alley. You know, Get Right's going to be leaning against the wall, smoking his cigarette. He's going to be like, 15%. And Guardian's going to be like, 10%. Garrett just got, it's a bit low. It's a bit low. 13%, right?
Just a little haggling back and forth.
Maybe it works. Maybe. Okay.
There's a lot to be seen. This is going to be curious. All right, so this is going to be a big thing. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday, because we're going to find out who's going to make it through to the LAN. At the moment, the top 3 are pretty much locked in. So your Fnatic, your Astralis, your NIP. Those 3 are pretty much safe as houses. However, that 4th spot is still up for grabs. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining me. And we will see you, hopefully, on Tuesday.